Yes, that's right. I'm still in my pajamas because today we're going to talk about a technique you can use to retain your dreams while you're still in your PJs. Welcome back. I've helped dreamers make sense of their dreams for a couple of decades, and I can do the same for you. So if you sometimes wake up, initially remember your dream, and then before you know it, it evaporates. Stay tuned. Those dreams that evaporate or vanish, I call those bubble dreams because they pop so easily. And if you're having prophetic dreams, you know they're too valuable to lose. So, what can be done to better retain our dreams? How can we retain those dreams that seem to just evaporate on us? There are a number of ways, but this post is about what we can do when we're coming out of our sleep and only initially remember our dreams. And I'll tell you up front, this suggestion is logical. The bigger issue is executing it. In way of context, and I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me, waking up on most mornings is a process. In fact, I purposely use the word process because, at least for me, there's a process to waking up. I'm not a morning person and I never have been. So when I wake up, the last thing I want to do is get up. For me, waking up has always been somewhat painful. It's the time of day when my body seems to reject the idea of being conscious. Well, I'm generally still somewhat tired. My body may ache, and I'm wondering why my body would wake me up in that compromised physical condition, and a lot of times earlier than I need to be awake. So I prefer to lie there a while before I get vertical and face the day. If you're like me, you enjoy coasting in mornings. Of course, I'm able to do it quite a bit because I've set myself up to allow for it. Let me interject right here that this technique might sound a little obvious, but I get asked this question repeatedly. How do I remember, especially when the dreams are complex? So here's one thing I suggest. Where I'm going with this is that if you have the time to coast, you can make good use of it. Now, I like to give techniques titles because I think it helps communicate more quickly sometimes. So I'm calling this technique the Dream Evaporation Blocker. Here's the essence of it. In the morning, the moment consciousness becomes evident and the dream is still there, purposely begin to block your dream from evaporating. Before you transition from down to up, and you're still laying there, you just disciplined your mind to concern itself strictly with retaining your dream. You simply focus on the dream you still recall at that moment, rather than allowing your mind to immediately be distracted. This can be helpful since awakening time may be a time that you're tempted to contemplate on how to manage your day, your issues, or what's expected of you. The challenge with this is that when we wake up, we're tempted to immediately start addressing the day, trying to plan or resolve the things on our plates. How will I get all this done today? What should I do first? How in the world am I going to meet that challenge or get out of that task? What can I say to that person about that? What should I wear? What should I prepare for dinner? If you thought about it long enough, maybe you could come up with a needed solution for a problem. Or maybe, as you're coasting, you might enjoy reviewing the last episode of the TV series you watched the night before. It's natural to do that sort of thing right away, as soon as we're cognizant, and it can be productive. But if remembering your dreams is a priority and if it's an issue, as soon as your mind heads toward that clutter, just don't go there. Work on blocking that dream from evaporation instead. It's something we can choose to do. I do it all the time. While I'm still lying there, I purposely discipline myself to recall the dream and sort of replay it in my mind's eye. I just make that the priority. Before moving from the awakening process to the off and running mode, I lock that dream in by repeating it several times. But it may not work unless you use keywords to help. In your mind, assign a keyword to each section or aspect of the dream. For instance, I dreamed I was in a basement when a particular relative instructed me using just these words: Planned Parenthood. And there were bales of hay in the middle of the area with sheep that had been brought in to spread the hay throughout the room. Then I'm laying on the floor when a huge crimson and black snake passes over me, exiting across my left shoulder. Yeah, that was a fun one. And you'll have to attend one of my seminars to find out what it means. But it serves as a good example of a dream with enough detail to be challenging to remember. So I noted it internally, just 6 words or phrases, 6 keywords, 6 phrases: basement, the person's name, Planned Parenthood, hay, sheep, and a red and black snake. And I also told myself to remember there were 6 important. When you do this, review and assign keywords. Of course, it won't be long until you feel like you've got it and that you will remember the dream, at least for a while. And at that point, your mind will want to start moving to other topics. But don't let that happen. It's time to get yourself moving, do what you have to do, get up, and then capture that dream in a journal or some kind of either paper or electronic means. Now, as I said at the outset, getting into the habit of practicing this is the main challenge. But it's worth the effort if your dreams tend to pop quickly on you on a regular basis. I have more suggestions on retaining our dreams and capturing them. Just look for more videos with the bubble wrapper. With that, I think I'm going to get dressed, get myself off and running, and why don't you have a blessed day and live beyond your wildest dreams?